Have you ever looked in the mirror, long after the house has gone quiet, and told yourself, this is the last one? Tomorrow comes, and the cycle repeats. If you're tired of losing the quiet battles inside your own mind, listen closely. This story is for you, because the exit door is much closer than you think. In the heart of Chicago lived a man named Julian. Julian didn't have an ordinary job. He was the executive chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant. Every evening, he commanded a brigade of cooks with the precision of an orchestra conductor. He was respected, brilliant, and demanded absolute perfection. But in the quiet moments, Julian answered to a master he couldn't control. Every single day, he smoked nearly a full pack of cigarettes. It had started subtly in his early 20s, just a harmless escape by the dumpsters before the dinner rush. One cigarette to celebrate a flawless service, one to survive a chaotic night. 15 years later, it was no longer a choice. It was the first thing he did when he woke up, and the last thing he did before closing his eyes. Julian knew it was destroying his greatest asset. He made his living through taste and smell. Yet his palate was slowly dulling, clouded by ash and smoke. His breathing had grown heavier over the years. His chest ached on cold mornings. But every time he tried to quit, the relentless pressure of the kitchen pulled him back. His wife, Claire, had stopped asking him directly. Instead, she would simply look away when he came into the bedroom smelling of stale smoke. Their 8-year-old daughter had stopped asking him to chase her in the park. Children perceived the truths that adults try desperately to hide. Julian thought he was in control. He told himself he could stop whenever he truly wanted to. We all believe this lie. We treat our addictions like moral failings, as if all we need is a sudden burst of willpower. But Julian wasn't the master. He was a prisoner of his own routine, unable to remember the last time he had taken a breath that felt completely pure. The turning point came on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Julian's mentor, a legendary chef named Henri, didn't show up for a major culinary gala. By noon, the news arrived. Henri was in the hospital with a severe lung complication. He had smoked since he was a teenager, and now he was breathing through a machine. Julian drove to the hospital after his shift. The giant of the culinary world looked fragile. A man who used to command kitchens now looked exhausted just by keeping his eyes open. Henri looked at Julian, his voice a raspy whisper. "Are you still smoking?" Julian nodded. Henri looked toward the window. Outside, the late afternoon sun was golden and unhurried. "I always thought I had more time," Henri whispered. "Don't wait as long as I did." Julian drove home in total silence. He left his half-empty pack on the dashboard and walked inside. He didn't smoke that night. But by the afternoon of the second day, the craving was a physical scream. He was irritable and restless. Desperate, he went to his doctor. Dr. Evans didn't give him a lecture. He gave him a reality check. "Julian, people fail at quitting not because they're weak. They fail because they're trying to fight a physical addiction with willpower alone. That's like trying to fix a broken leg by thinking harder about walking." The doctor leaned forward. Nicotine is a chemical dependency. When you smoke, your brain releases dopamine. Over 15 years, your brain has wired this exact sequence. Stress arrives, nicotine follows, relief comes. Cold turkey is brutal. The relapse rate is over 80% because the brain keeps screaming for what it expects. You can't fight the wave. You have to change the path. Dr. Evans gave Julian 3 concrete tools. First, replace the ritual. Your brain craves the cigarette, but it also craves the pause. When chaos hits, step outside. Keep the pause, but replace the smoke. Breathe deeply for 2 minutes. Drink cold water. Give your brain the break it's asking for. Second, delay, don't deny. When a craving hits, don't tell yourself you'll never smoke again. Forever is too heavy to carry. Tell yourself you'll wait 15 minutes. Cravings are physiologically designed to peak and pass in roughly 15 minutes. You just have to wait for the wave to fall. Third, write it down. Every time a craving hits, write down the time and what you felt. Once you see the patterns, they lose their power. The first week was brutal. During the Friday dinner rush, a complex sauce broke. Julian's hand moved automatically toward an empty pocket, but instead of breaking, he stepped into the cold alley. He breathed. He drank ice water. He waited. The craving rose, crested, and fell in 12 minutes. He wrote it down. By week 3, something miraculous happened. The morning cravings weakened. He woke up without the familiar cough. And then, the ultimate reward arrived. The flavor returned. He tasted the sweet earthiness of a truffle with a sharpness he hadn't experienced in a decade. His palate was waking up. By the second month, his relationship with cigarettes had shifted from a battle to a memory. He hadn't fought a 15-year habit all at once. He simply waited out the enemy, 15 minutes at a time. Tonight, look at the invisible chains you carry. We trick ourselves into believing we're weak when we stumble, but a craving isn't a sign of weakness. It's merely a signal of what your body was taught to expect. What your body learned over years, it unlearns over months. You don't need to promise forever today. You only need to wait 15 minutes. That's enough to begin. If you're ready to stop surviving and start living, this is Tales of Life and Wisdom. Let's walk this path home together.